All right, let's get right into it. We're all swimming in this constant sea of news and opinions, right? And they're all fighting for our attention. But have you ever just stopped for a second and asked, wait, where did that sudden flash of anger or that jolt of fear actually come from? That's what we're digging into today, the surprisingly sophisticated world of manufactured public outrage. And that really is the central question, isn't it? Because in this hyper-connected world of ours, outrage has become a kind of currency, a really powerful one. And believe me, there are a lot of people trying to get you to spend it. So this explainer is all about peeling back those layers to see how it's done. You know, this quote from the research we're diving into today just nails it. The key word here is deliberate. This isn't about a spontaneous, genuine emotion popping up. No. This is about a calculated strategy. We're talking about a process that's been designed from the ground up to mess with our perception of what's even real. Okay, so to really get to the bottom of this, we've got to start with the basics. We need to define what we're even talking about. What exactly is this outrage product? The word that really jumps out at me in this definition is strategic. This isn't about someone just venting or being angry online. This is about creating an actual product, a super simplified good versus evil story that's engineered to get a very specific emotional reaction out of you, the audience, usually to push some kind of agenda. So, if it's a product, how is it made? How is it sold to us? Well, turns out there's a playbook, a set of core tactics that get used over and over and over again. So let's crack it open and see what's inside. The whole operation runs on this really powerful emotional engine, and it's fueled by some of our most basic primal feelings. You've got fear of a threat, whether it's real or just made up. You've got anger at some kind of injustice. And then there's this really interesting one, sympathy. But it's a weaponized sympathy, where they get you to focus all your compassion on one group specifically to create hostility toward another. It's kind of sneaky. Language is, without a doubt, one of the biggest tools in the toolbox. Just look at the difference here. The terms on the left, they aren't just descriptions, are they? They are packed with emotional baggage. They're designed to make you feel contempt or fear or just plain dismissiveness before you even get a single fact about the situation. It's a total shortcut to condemnation. And then, of course, you've got numbers. Statistics feel so solid, so objective, but they can be framed to paint a completely misleading picture. I mean, a headline that says, violent incidents skyrocket by 500%, that sounds absolutely terrifying, right? But what if the starting number was just one incident? Suddenly, the reality is a lot less scary. By cherry-picking data or just conveniently leaving out the context, these sellers of outrage can literally manufacture a crisis out of thin air. And of course, today's technology just pours gasoline on this whole fire. Social media algorithms, well, they're built to keep us scrolling. And a great way to do that is to feed us more of what already makes us angry or scared. This creates these digital echo chambers where this manufactured outrage can spread like wildfire, constantly reinforced by a chorus of people who already agree. Okay, theory is one thing. Let's see this playbook in the real world. And honestly, there's probably no better example than the incredibly emotional, high-stakes debate over gun control in the United States. You can see the entire complex conversation get forced into these two powerful competing boxes. On one side, the frame is all about individual liberty and the fear of a government that's getting too powerful. On the other side, the frame is about collective safety and the fear of violence in our communities. Both are designed to tap directly into those primal emotions we just talked about. So from inside that individual liberty frame, you get rhetoric that sounds exactly like this. It's so short, so powerful, it boils a massive, complicated policy debate down to one single terrifying threat. You're going to lose your rights and you won't be able to protect yourself. It's a direct shot to our sense of fear. And then from the collective safety frame, you get this equally potent line. It frames the other side not as people with a different legal opinion, but as morally broken individuals who just don't care about human suffering. It's a phrase engineered to spark moral disgust and a whole lot of anger. Now, here's what's so important to get. This playbook, it's not just for one topic, not by a long shot. The exact same tactics get rolled out to shape totally different conversations. Take, for instance, the way we talk about poverty. One of the central tactics here is to create a villain, and that's where the welfare queen comes in. This is such a powerful and damaging caricature. But it's not a real person. It's a symbol, an idea that was constructed to make people furious about social safety nets. It creates this character who's supposedly cheating the system at your expense. And this idea didn't just pop up out of nowhere. You can actually trace how it was weaponized during key moments of social change. As things like the civil rights movement gained ground and social programs grew, this narrative was pushed really hard to undermine them. It successfully shifted the entire focus away from big systemic problems of poverty and onto these little isolated stories of individual fraud. So, after all that, the big question is, what do we do? How do we defend ourselves? How can we become critical consumers of information in a world that is actively trying to sell us outrage 24/7? Well, it really starts with just pausing and asking a few simple questions. Before you react, before you share, just stop. Ask yourself, who's telling me this? And what might they gain if I get angry? What specific emotion are they trying to make me feel right now? Am I getting the whole story or just one juicy, out of context fact? And listen to the language. How is it being framed? Think of this as your personal intellectual toolkit. Ultimately, I think it all comes down to this. In an information marketplace that is absolutely flooded with these carefully packaged emotional products, being a conscious consumer is everything. So the next time you feel that hot rush of indignation, just ask yourself, am I actually engaging with reality right now, or am I just buying what they're selling?